Dragon's Dogma 2 looks like it's an up-and-coming amazing game. I'm really excited for this game, and we just got a bit of actually, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This is just plain bad news. Now, I'm not trying to make a huge stink about this. I'm just trying to report the news to you guys so you know about it, but 30 frames per second is what is projected for Dragon's Dogma 2 on all consoles. I'm personally playing on a PC. It's not the best PC, but it definitely will get more than 45 to 60 frames, and that's because PCs have this beautiful thing called accessibility. The huge sticker price for an Xbox Series X, and you guys should be able to get at the very least 4K 60 and or some accessibility options. It's wild to me that we live in 2024 and 30 frames per second seems to be an okay thing to give from like pretty high-end developers. I tried to give some forgiveness when I saw that Starfield was going to be 30 frames per second because of the ingenuity behind the game. Starfield wasn't really based around combat as much as it was exploration, and there was 1,000 procedurally generated planets, and I thought, you know what, man, maybe it won't be so bad.
But you're a huge fan of Tears of the Kingdom, aren't you?
This is like a 6-year-old portable console. Tears of the Kingdom had amazing gameplay, and it really wasn't super combat focused. It was, again, very explorative. You see, when you have a game that's 30 frames per second, then that's maxing it out at 30. You're not guaranteed 30 at all times. When you drop below 30 frames per second, just say your frames get cut in half, you're now officially in a slideshow. Literally make me motion sick, and it has playing Tears of the Kingdom if I'm being completely honest. But Xbox should 1000% have the accessibility options to tone down the 4K to 1440 and get 60 frames per second. Even then, should you really be sacrificing that when you've spent that much money on your console? I have a feeling that this 30 frames per second is going to be the new standard until we phase out Xbox One, which needs to happen. It's like an 11-year-old console, guys. At some point, you need to say, if you're going to play new games, you need the new console. Xbox is already talking about making another new console sometime in 2026. So they're 2 years away from being outdated by 2 generations of consoles. If we're getting held back because the Xbox One is being included,
what are you doing?
Games like Hellblade 2 look absolutely incredible, and while their frames per second haven't been launched, I know that it looks amazing because it's not being ported to the Xbox One, so they don't have to worry about backtracking dev kits to an old console that only 30% of the player base is actually using. The difference between Xbox and PC is that Xbox is directly competing with PlayStation, and if somebody plays a game on performance mode that drops it down to 1440 and things look a little bit blocky on the graphics side, they will use it against Xbox. Descale it at 1440 and stretch it to 4K and make it look terrible, especially in a game that is more action driven, which the center of the focus of Dragon's Dogma seems like it's going to be like maybe 70, maybe 60% action and then 40 to 30% story. For me personally, I don't know about you guys. Let me know inside of the comments how you feel about Dragon's Dogma being at 30 frames per second. Like I said, I'm playing on PC, so I will be playing and buying this game still and probably still enjoying it very much. But the fact that this is becoming somewhat of like a habit, a pattern, and almost like seeming like a standard to have 40 over 30 just seems, I'm not a fan of it. Personally, I literally have like 3 packs of Dramamine just because I get motion sick in cars, boats, and airplanes. And if I'm getting highly immersed into a game, especially in like an action adventure FPS or anything like that, I'll personally get motion sick, and I'm not exaggerating. Fingers are crossed that this game is still like amazing and that everything makes up for it. Or is this not even close to a deal breaker? It's not a big deal and people are just making a big deal out of nothing. And also, there's a gray area to this whole thing too. You can be neutral. It's okay. Let me know in the comments. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Help my channel out. We're about to hit a major milestone. I would love for one of you guys to hit the subscribe button and just like help me out with that milestone, especially if you want to keep up with like news, leaks, and guides. I do a lot of those on this channel. I hope that you like them, guys. Peace. Happy gaming. I'm out.